and welcome. So today we shall be talking about the final installment of the X-Men movie franchise, X-Men Dark Phoenix, or as a lot of people would call it, Dark Phoenix. And as you already know, the X-Men movies have been going on for a little while now. I think since like the late 2000s. So it's the end of an era, and we will look back on those times and think, what the hell was going on with those movies? So these are my thoughts on the final movie of the X-Men movies. So, what is the movie about? What is Dark Phoenix about? Well, it is about Jean Grey. Now, if you're wondering who Jean Grey is, don't worry, I will tell you. Jean Grey is a mutant who is part of the X-Men, obviously. And she has telepathy, which is like the ability to read minds. Kind of like our local professor, what's-his-face. And she also has telekinesis, which is like the ability to move stuff without her hands. So she and the X-Men go to space for like this kind of rescue mission slash PR move. And while they're up there, she like kind of like absorbs a solar flare or a cosmic force, as you'll learn. And as a result of this solar flare slash cosmic force, she becomes a lot more powerful than she originally was. But the main source of conflict, the main problem of the movie, is she is unable to control this new amplified power of hers. So whenever she gets upset or angry at someone or something, you know, she loses control and her power lashes out and people get hurt or buildings get destroyed, you know, the whole superhero shebang. And now the X-Men have to stop her from her rampage in order and to help her. Yeah, and also aliens are involved in this. Now, I do want to start off this review by saying the only X-Men movie I have actually seen was X-Men First Class. I think it's one of the first ones. But yeah. So, in terms of context, as in like what happened before this movie, I don't actually know what it is. All I know is Magneto and Professor X had a beach divorce and like they separated to like go do their own thing. But other than that, I know absolutely nothing. Now, if you were expecting me to say like, oh my god, this movie is so bad, this movie is terrible, I wish I never seen it, well, you are dead wrong. You are dead wrong. I actually enjoyed this movie a lot. You know, it was a simple superhero movie that I did not need to think about it at all. And I had a good time while I was watching it, which I think should be like the core reason why you watch like these kinds of movies in the first place. It's just, you enjoy it. It was the mindless entertainment kind of movie that I personally believe every single superhero movie should be. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say something very controversial. I enjoyed this movie more than I enjoyed Endgame.
What?
And I stand by those words.
Child. Anyway, so
now, because I enjoyed this movie more than I enjoyed Endgame, I will say it's not without its flaws. So, the first flaw that I have noticed throughout the whole movie, I've noticed that there's something very weird about the acting in this movie. Like, don't get me wrong, the X-Men cast is full of people who are amazing actors. You know, you have Jennifer Lawrence, you have Sophie Turner, James McAvoy, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, I'm sorry. You have Michael Fassbender, and you know, a lot of other people that I don't remember the names of right now. Like, these are very good actors, and now I'm not saying that they did a bad job in acting in this movie, because like they were really good as well. But the thing is, the acting like seemed like forced. Like it was so stiff. I don't know what it was, because it wasn't about like the actors acting badly, because like they did a really good job, of course they should, but you know, it seemed like as if like someone was standing behind the camera holding a gun and they were going like, act, James, act, you must act or else you will die. Their acting just gave off that kind of like vibe to me. And maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just like looking into it too much. Like maybe they were acting like normally and I just haven't seen a superhero movie in quite a while actually. But you know, that's what it seemed like to me. The acting seemed very forced and very stiff. Another thing I wanted to say about this movie was that the pacing was a little weird, which is like a complaint that people had. Now, I say little because like it wasn't too big of a problem for me. Like I could still follow the movie and it kind of made sense. Not kind of, it made sense. Like some parts of this movie, I will admit, did go like a little fast than like a really well-paced movie would be. Like for example, there's this one scene where like Jean has gone over to like the alien side. Charles Xavier, that's the professor's name. The guy in the wheelchair. Like he goes to confront her and basically tell her, "Oh no, don't do this, blah blah blah." And there's this part where she forces him to walk, you know, up the stairs, like up to her, where like she's standing. And you know, this scene is actually very sad, because like forcing a disabled person to walk, that's a shitty thing to do. Don't do that. And you know, she humiliates him. It's implied, at least to me, that she was planning to kill him anyway. But then what happens is she takes one good look into his mind. You know, he shows her like the past and what he's done to like protect her and blah blah blah. And you know, and suddenly she's just like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna give up my powers now." And she goes to give up her powers, but like something doesn't work. Like, girl, did you just not want to kill him like 2 seconds ago? Like shouldn't this kind of revelation like happen like slowly over time? Like maybe you could have like let him go and then flew away and then had some time to like think, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna give my powers." Like right there and then. Like, I don't know, that part seems like a little fast than like I expected, you know, that kind of revelation. Now after I saw this movie, I looked it up on the internet because, you know, it's based on a comic book and I was really curious as to like which comic books it was based on. It's based on the Dark Phoenix saga in the X-Men comic books, obviously. And this Dark Phoenix saga that this 2-hour movie is based on, it consists of 9 comic books, like in total. That's the whole Dark Phoenix saga. And if you want to get into the Phoenix like saga as well, that consists of more books. And I feel like that could explain the whole pacing of this movie, because if you're trying to fit 9 comic books into a 2-hour movie, I imagine that could be very difficult, and you know, you end up like trying to like, I don't want to say sloppily, but like, yeah, that's kind of what happened. You're like trying to sloppily explain what happened in such a short amount of time, and then you're just like, you end up with the finished product, which seemed very rushed. Again, it's not a big problem for me because I don't know, I'm no film connoisseur. One last thing I want to mention before I go do the rest of my face. I've noticed that in a few scenes where you have the machine thing that like Xavier has, there's a part where the alien shows Jean like the universe and how, while she's explaining how like the cosmic power works, you can so clearly tell that those scenes were green screen. Usually, like when it comes to superhero movies, it's kind of guaranteed they'll use a green screen. But there was something about this movie that made it like so painfully obvious that they were using a green screen. I don't know, I just thought that was funny. Cause like, you know, I've seen plenty of superhero movies and they all use green screen. I know that. But, you know, I guess it's to do with the higher budget. I don't know, it's just something I've noticed. And I just wanted to share because I thought it was funny. I think people will think it funny too. Anyways, I'll come back with the rest of my face and I will give you my final thoughts about X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
So here is the final look. So, as for my final thoughts for Dark Phoenix, X-Men Dark Phoenix, that's the longer title, I absolutely, positively love this movie. I love it so much. I had such a great time watching it. Honestly, I would say go ahead and watch it. I recommend watching it. Now, is it the best movie I have ever seen in my life? No, definitely not. I have seen much better movies. But a lot of people were saying, oh, this movie is so bad. This is like the worst movie I've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. It does not deserve that bullshit. Okay? Like, why have you let this movie flop? This movie is a bad cinematic masterpiece. And I will not forgive you for letting this slip. For letting this flop. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video or even enjoyed this little look that I've made, please subscribe to my channel because I do things like this. I review movies while putting eyeshadow in particular on. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and follow me on my social media. They'll be down below. All of the products I have used today that is on my face right now, it'll also be down below. And I'll see you the next time I upload. Bye!